In an ever-evolving digital landscape, for your business to thrive, you must adapt or die. Welcome to Marketing in the Age of AI, the podcast helping you harness the power of AI and marketing tools to revitalize and grow your business. And now here's your host, marketing expert and author of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI, Emanuel Rose.
Welcome to this episode of Marketing in the Age of AI. Today, we're joined by Garrett Hammonds, a digital marketing expert with over 8 years of experience and is one of the founders of Hammonds Media and Marketing. Garrett specializes in leveraging data-driven strategies to propel businesses forward through pay-per-click advertising, SEO, and performance-focused campaigns. His unique ability to blend technical expertise with clear, relatable communication has made him a valuable partner for brands ranging from startups to Fortune 500 companies. When he's not optimizing campaigns, Garrett enjoys drinking coffee, spending time outdoors, and connecting with his family. Garrett, thanks for taking some time to have a conversation with me today.
Absolutely. It's great to be able to be on the show. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate your time. Well, how did you end up getting into the marketing field?
Oh, it was not conventional, I'll tell you that. I started off in school wanting to be a teacher when I was in college.
Okay.
I was in high school speech and debate, and I was on scholarship for debate when I was in college. And so I thought, well, I'll just do that. I'll teach that at the high school or college level. And as I started approaching graduation time, I just figured out it wasn't necessarily exactly what I wanted to do. So my first job was with a nonprofit that it was a membership-based organization. And so I wore all of the hats, and a lot of us digital marketers end up doing that in our career anyway. And
For sure.
I just fell in love with all the different pieces of the digital side of marketing. And so I followed that throughout the rest of my career until eventually I landed at a marketing agency and then started my own not too long after that.
I love it. Yeah. And then what kind of clients are you working with?
We really love folks who are, let's say all different sizes, industry agnostic, but we've worked with, I'd say primarily 3 different industries as kind of our core. One is e-commerce, worked with a lot of e-commerce businesses, manufacturers, which I know that's broad in and of itself as well. And then I'll throw in another one that's just a passion area of mine, which is niche businesses in niche areas. So for example, one of the clients we work with is a lithium exploration business.
Oh.
So to market that, you don't need to hit everybody, but you have very specific people that you're trying to get out in front of. And so,
yeah, I love that. You got a very clear account-based marketing initiative, right?
Yes, exactly.
That's funny. Yeah, well, send them out here to Reno. We got a lot of lithium to explore. So
hey, there you go.
Yeah. Well, what part of the marketing process is the thing that you enjoy doing the most?
It's changed over the years. Right now, I've really fallen in love with SEO as one of the core things that I do. Previously, I would say my main focus was Google advertising and just digital advertising in general.
Yeah.
But with all the changes that are happening in the search realm right now, it's just pulled me in. I've really enjoyed being able to see how everything's adapting and changing, and so I don't do as much in the weeds production work is what I used to. A lot of really, really smart people who, make me look good, that jump in at times. But, anything related to AI, SEO, or GEO, or whatever we want to call it, which is not as different from just good old fashioned SEO is what we like to make it. I've really enjoyed that.
That's cool. What are some of the new things that you're seeing that are getting results in the GEO space?
It's had some variation for what we've tested with our clients, but we've started to hone in on an interesting framework that we've seen consistent success with. And so a lot of SEO folks would, may be familiar with the term hub and spoke, where we have, a wheel which represents the broad topics that we try and have, and then the spoke is, the little niche areas that go inside of that. And we've seen that kind of flip a little bit with GEO. In particular, we try and start with a few niche topics that are really geared towards our client's area of expertise. Or even it could be something as simple as a geography. If you're looking at more localized brick and mortar businesses.
Uh-huh.
And we'll launch out a couple of those at once, with really solid content creation. And then we just kind of watch and see which keywords start to latch on to those topics most, where we get the most traction.
Yeah.
And then build out the broad topic around that area that we start to get the most traction. So instead of hub and spoke, it's spoke and hub. Flipped it.
It's kind of like a content version of A/B testing, right? You want to see where the content is getting traction, and then you build out based on that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Exactly. One of the things I've seen is that the answer engines don't like content that's older than about between 6 and 18 months. So I built a tool, a GEO rewriter. So we take old blog content, bring it in, reconstitute it, and then republish it in the GEO friendly format.
Yeah, that's brilliant. The recency piece of things is fascinating, and I'll tell you, the one area I've been getting frustrated with is how much spam it has been out there in the AI modeling. It's like we've gone back to a time where keyword stuffing is now a thing again.
Right.
It's like, how did that happen?
Yeah, that's an interesting point. And I guess, how are you helping your clients maintain that kind of authentic brand voice and not get lost in this 1000x increase in content that exists?
It sounds cliche, but really just trying to bring them back to the basics a little bit, because we can get really excited about, oh, here's this new shiny object.
Okay.
But if we go and listen to what folks like, I'll use, Google. Google's our, primary search engine market share out there. So Danny Sullivan, Robert Mueller or John Mueller, I've heard them a few different times speak on the topic and just say, just make valuable content for your users. It's back to EEAT, just our simple, authoritative, valuable content. Because if we try and do all these kind of black hat systems, like we see some people trying to poison the AI, modeling data, or doing natural language files that they plant, it's gonna backfire so fast in the future, because these massive, billion-dollar companies, OpenAI and Google, they are already developing and have developed ways that they're gonna weed you out, and then you're never going to rank again or show up in dimensions again. So
yeah, I think that's a great point, is that as marketers, we always, if we're trying to build a long-term brand, that is, we need to build assets and not try to game the process, and not try to just get short-term gains, but to build something that's going to be valuable for a long time. I agree.
Yeah. But then in the same light, just understanding how to get good content, higher visibility, like the tool that you were mentioning that you created, helping be able to get that recency out there, things like that, I think is just fantastic forward thinking of how do you get good content, the spotlight that it deserves.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. And especially what I call legacy brands, right? Like companies that are older than 3 or 4 years. We've already built on so much of this content and we don't want it to just get ignored, right?
Yeah.
We gotta do something to make sure that it's valuable again.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
What are you seeing your clients' appetites for podcast guesting and podcast hosting?
That's been a fascinating area. We have just recently started to explore it because with niche businesses in particular, like hosting a podcast, it wouldn't make sense at all for them. But being a guest on a podcast, we're really have started to explore that as a way of getting out in front of a established audience where they can be exposed as an expert. But then, with a world in which brand power and just brand mentions in different platforms
Yep.
is becoming increasingly useful inside of a digital space. I think being podcast guests in particular is going to be a really meaningful type of marketing for a lot of businesses out there.
Yeah, I agree. And I think small and mid-sized businesses, for whatever reason, have been really slow to adopt it as a technique. But just like you're talking about, it's beautiful for the expertise and authoritativeness and the trustworthiness, right? And you're going to be on high domain authority websites typically, and then you're talking on topic. So you've got good LSI, latent semantic indexing, and all that inside of it. So I think it's fascinating. Obviously, we're here on a podcast, so we understand the value of it. And I started out guesting and really just took on the hosting part when I just couldn't avoid it anymore.
Yeah.
But now it's just a part of my normal work week, and I have 10 lifetimes worth of content that's on brand and on voice. So beautiful.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. I've dabbled. I've had some hobby podcasts that I've tried to pick up. Someday I'd like to maybe throw my hat in a small realm of podcasting as far as hosting something. But getting things together and getting to talk with different people who are like-minded or have unique views from my own, it's a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
That's the bonus.
Yeah, I agree, and it has created quite a network, right? Like I'm coming up on 400 episodes for this pod, and I would say probably 25 of those people I'm in consistent contact with and trading referrals or doing business with, or there's it's vibrant in terms of the business benefit also.
Yeah.
That's cool. Who are the partners in your agency?
So it's myself and my wife, and we originally actually started our business as a real estate photography company for her, and so she's not as front facing now, but she's my data gal. So she
Nice.
knows all the code that I don't, anything with SQL or R, C plus, I don't know, whatever she does it really well. And so she's that face of things. And then I have another partner who I can't say his name because he still works for another company as a
Okay,
partner.
no problem. Yeah, we don't want to break the news yet. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, but he's worked with multiple Fortune 500s doing their growth analytics and SEO. And so he's helping us kind of head up that side of the business and allowing me to nerd out a little bit whenever I can get him on a call and we can talk shop.
Well, that's good stuff. What do you have for like your new initiatives for 2026?
I appreciate you asking that. We literally a couple of weeks ago have been able to solidify plans for a small business branch of the company. And so there's a gal named Catherine Neitzel who is going to be heading up those efforts for us. And we're going to start where we're regionally based in Oklahoma,
Okay.
and use that kind of as our testing ground for developing a really robust and useful program for folks, and then expand out to the rest of the country after that. And so,
All right. Is that going to be like a portal? Is it going to be workshops? Going to be masterminds? What's the offer?
we want to be able to do almost. I feel like enterprise businesses get all the customization when it
Right.
comes to digital marketing offerings, or really anything, SaaS tools, whatever. We want to do a little bit of that for small businesses and digital marketing plans. And so we're trying to be able to build out a product that our internal team can have with them in sales calls, and they'll talk to the small business owners to be able to figure out exactly what they need, what their price points are, and they'll enter it into this AI app that we're creating that will then generate the plan based on all of the data that we've fed it previously and what we can offer and do. And it will create a few tiered options that they can choose from. And I think that will help small businesses be able to really get support. Small businesses are kind of neglected inside of the marketing realm because they don't offer us as high a ticket item. But that's been a huge passion of mine that I've wanted to be able to tackle, but haven't been able up until this point. And so that's kind of what it will look like.
I love it. I think that is a critical thing, and been thinking about that a lot right now, which is how complicated marketing has become, and how many different shiny objects there are. In that, no more than I could do my own accounting, could a small business do their own marketing and expect to get good, repeatable results.
Yes, that's the tricky piece. As we're putting some of this together, I'm trying to work with Catherine and use her expertise and brain inside of our process to make sure what we offer is providing genuine value. It's not just kind of a vanity package of, hey, you're checking off your boxes.
Right.
I want it to be really useful to folks. And that does get tricky, because that's one of the reasons why agencies can be so expensive, is because you're working with more or less this long-term partner to help you with your growth. So what we're kind of structuring right now as the core is we have things that are geared towards, your short-term goals, if you're trying to be able to reach something in a specific amount of time, and then your kind of marketing building blocks, things that aren't necessarily built so that you can get new clients straight away, but it's things that'll set you up for success in your business long term, and really making sure that we have good labels on all of those, so that way people know what to expect whenever they purchase services.
Wow. When you guys get that kicked off, I want to have you on the show again so we can dig through that, because I think it sounds really interesting. I'd be interested to see what you guys put together.
Absolutely. That'd be a blast.
All right. Good stuff. Well, Garrett, I'm grateful for your time today, and thanks for spending with me. If people want to get in touch with you, how do they track you down?
Well, I love making new friends online, so feel free to reach out to me over LinkedIn. Is somewhere that I frequent pretty often. Garrett Hammonds. I think my tag is Garrett Hammonds-digital. So you can find me there. My email is Garrett, spelled Garrett, at hmm.agency. So those are perfect spots to reach out to me.
All right, Garrett. We'll make sure all that's reflected in the show notes. And thanks again. I appreciate having a great talk with you.
Thank you.
All right.
I've really enjoyed it.
All right. Well, there you go. Garrett Hammonds, Hammonds Media and Marketing. It's important, as he was talking about, that we stay invested in building assets and not trying to black hat or fake anything for short-term gain. I sure hope that you got some value out of my conversation with Garrett today. And I hope that you take some time to dig into some of the marketing tools or build a custom GPT and win back some of your work week, free up some time to continue to upskill, continue to learn the innovations that are happening with AI. I hope that you also use that time to spend with your friends and family, and that you get away from the screens and get outside in nature and touch some soil to your feet. It's Emanuel Rose, Marketing in the Age of AI.
Thanks for listening to Marketing in the Age of AI. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. Your copy of Authentic Marketing in the Age of AI is available at Amazon.com or EmanuelRose.com. You can also connect with Emanuel on LinkedIn. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.